I want to. It rhymes with Morton. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it really spices up your meal.
Well, and if you look at the ingredient label on your salt shaker, or even your salt block, for your animals, it shouldn't have 400 ingredients.
No.
If your shaker of salt in the cupboard has dextrose and sodium, potassium, iodine added, and it has sodium silicoaluminate and all these other food additives, you might want to use that salt for either melting ice or killing slugs or something. But I certainly wouldn't want to eat it.
Well, we move a lot of the selenium 3090, and I think if you look at the trace minerals, you guys can go to regmanagricultural.com and check this out, the regular salt, and then the selenium 90, the 30 garlic, and even the regular salt's got 65 trace minerals in it. But, Jim, you don't know this, but the selenium 90 has something in there for fertility. So I'm just looking at it every morning. It's got more stuff than my regular vitamins do.
Wow. Is that why you have that 90-pound block you're licking on over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Doc's over there licking the block.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys a quick story. The first big load that we had 48,000 pounds showing up on the Blackmore Ranch, and the truck driver gets out, and he was by himself, so I'm helping him take the tarps off. They do a good job, and he looks around and says, "Hey, are you all building a barn with these blocks?" I go, "Excuse me?" He said, yeah, these building blocks? I said, "No, sir, those are salt blocks." He goes, "The hell you say?" I said, "Well, yeah, the animals, it's good for them." And he says, "Do you mind if I lick one?" I said, "Just help yourself, big boy." I'll tell you what, there were 6 cowboys rolling in the dirt. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Funny.
Well, you guys do a great job up there. And what are some of the other uses of bentonite? That's such an interesting compound.
Yeah, you bet. So Western clay, they concentrate on the industrial side of things. Daryl talked about maybe human use, and did you mention that we sold the toothpaste for as well?
I didn't.
Okay, well, yeah, we actually use it for toothpaste, but on the industrial, they'll use it for drilling,
Yeah.
any kind of drilling, boring, filtration, binding, asphalt emulsion, sealing, of course, what we've been talking about. But, we learn it seems like something comes along every month that we learn about how this is being used. In fact, we're going to be sitting in at least 7,000 ton next year for road stabilization.
Yes.
And for dirt roads, so you don't get the washboarding and So it seems like something comes along every month that we learn that.
Don,
I can tell you firsthand, ADOT needs to use more of it in
I was
Arizona.
going to say, Don, we got a road for them up Young Road.
Yeah.
Another unique use for it, even back in Chernobyl, when Chernobyl melted down, they used clay to fill in and backfill the reactor hole because of the way it can absorb radiation and trap it. So, yeah, there's been a lot of uses of clay over the years.
So we actually sell to a company that does use it for exactly that, toxic waste.
Just out of curiosity, where'd they come up with bentonite over there?
So, fortunately, bentonite occurs all over the world.
Okay.
Geologically, this type of bentonite, there's 7 different classes of clay, and one of those classes is cementite. And in the cementite family of clay, one of those is bentonite. Sometimes the word montmorillonite is also used. And this particular type of clay is weathered volcanic ash. And so as this prehistoric or historic volcano erupts and this ash then falls into water, it then ages over time. And when weathered volcanic ash is what bentonite is. And so because there were volcanoes all across the world, there's sources of this bentonite all across the world. But every volcano is different, and it weathers differently over time. And so there's very unique deposits of this volcanic ash, but that's kind of why it looks like dust from maybe Mount St. Helens. If you've ever seen Mount St. Helens dust, it has this very similar, that's current ash, but it's kind of similar to this weathered volcanic ash.
That's amazing.
It's wild.
Okay, we got about 45 seconds to clean this up. What have we not covered that we need to cover for you boys?
Well, I can't think of anything other than, Western Clay, we value great customers, especially great partners, and we really believe in what you guys are doing out there, and we just appreciate you guys. And I want to give you guys a shout-out for what you're doing.
And while we're talking fishing, one of our sister companies is up here in Alaska. That's where we're at this time. It's Pybus, PYBUS.com. And it's a sister company that's a fishing lodge and adventure lodge up in Alaska. So if you don't, once you've got all your fishing practiced in at Bender's Pond, look us up at Pybus.
Shoot me a text on that. We'll get you up on the website. Yeah, and find me somebody up there that can do a monthly report during the fishing season.
I tell you what, it's beautiful up here, guys.
Okay, have you got bears?
Oh, yeah, you better watch your step. Don't walk off too far.
Daryl, here's what you can do. Just put a little bit of bacon grease on Troy's boots.
Not into it.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, God love you, man. Have a great rest of your fishing trip and be safe. We got to flip into another hard break here when we come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about Moon Valley Nurseries and really appreciate the participation from Western Clay and Redmond Agricultural in Redmond, Utah. I'm Don McDowell with
Jim Lawrence.
Carter Lawrence.
And Sal Picali.
Where do you get your facial at?
What's that? My wife does them for me.
Oh, yeah, a little spoonful of. Okay. All right, we'll be right back here on Fox Sports. That the first stop on any fishing trip.
25 years old, too. Yeah. Well,
They use it makeup, all
that's
kinds of stuff.
that's what I first heard. I was in the shower. I'm looking at this thing that's on the shelf. I'm like, man, it says bentonite clay. I was like, I know you had just gotten into it. I was like, I know he was just talking about that. But
Yeah.
Sal, what's your number? I'm gonna send you a. Here, you need to do your little facial recognition thing.
Here's the other side of life.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Now, do you guys sell bag bentonite in your stores?
We do not. I don't know if I've had anybody ask for.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Pass them down. Oh man, you're good.
We had one guy up in was he Sholo had a nursery up there. They're selling it for 50-pound bags.
Yeah.
So,
Probably
how you spell your last name?
Bracali, Bracale.
You're not Italian, are you?
A little bit.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Christopher Gardens, the gentleman that owns that, he's actually a real big hunter. He's probably one of those guys up there that might carry something like that. I'm trying to think who else in the show area. There's a cow ranch up there. I'm sure they imagine they sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. Yep, that's good stuff. Well, we're dealing with it in truckloads in bulk. We did have a kind of a special deal with.
I get a phone number for you on here.
Yeah, that's my 602 number, 526.
Yeah.
That's my cell.
We had some 50-pound bags, some real high-tech, highly processed stuff that something happened. I mean, it was still premium stuff, but it was for, some high-tech project that didn't pan out. So we helped them out, got rid of 38 pallets, 36.
Yep. Yep.
That's going to be fun,
38.
spreading those bags.
Well, you got to handle each one of them, 50-pound bags, and there's 2,300 of them.
Yeah, we're kind of used to Terry on those super sacks. He grabbed the hole with either a backhoe or a skid steer.
Yeah.
puts it up in the air, pulls the string, and goes.
Just much easier.
That guy's amazing. So, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun parts of the bent night. You know, the cool thing about the bent night is,
I'm gonna
though,
call
we've had
in-
100%
Carter and I are gonna
success.
call in sick that day.
Yeah.
We've had 100% success with that.
Really?
Yep.
How much is needed to create a good layer?
About at least an inch.
Okay.
We'll have about close to an inch and a half
Hmm.
in this pond. So, it's a big pond.
Yeah.
Most of the ones we do are, quarter acre
Wow.
ponds. Most are stock ponds you see
Yeah.
out in this is a big one.
I've got a piece of property in Pinedale, and I have just a little cattle drinker type thing down below, and there's always deer and elk and stuff coming through there. And every time I
RCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Back to Don McDowell Outdoors on Fox Sports 910 and always on our free iHeartRadio app. Here's the Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
This segment is brought to you by thewilderness.com, makers of quality outdoor and tactical gear. Thewilderness.com. All right, we're back. Really appreciate the participation of those guys up there. The best part of what we're doing, folks, is the relationships that we form doing what we do with Jim's participation with the ranching community. Sol, it's just, I wish we had started this 30 years ago. I mean, because the circle that we run in with these guys, there's a couple of butt heads, within every circle. The fishing, there's more than the ranchers. I say the hunters, they're everywhere. But the relationships that we have with Game and Fish, the ranching community, with you, the guys up in Utah, it's just at the end of our run. The only thing we have is those relationships sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
Fish doesn't matter how many fish I caught, how many fish you caught.
None of the fish I caught.
Yeah, he didn't catch fish. He shoots stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
And you got a hunt coming up here pretty quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. September 1st, I'm taking my brother with me. We're going to that Blue Rooster Ranch we were just talking about, doing a hog and a bison hunt. So
You suck.
yeah, plus dove season's starting, so
Well, you're gonna miss it.
Well, I'll be back, and then they do a late season too. So, but Tyson's ranch is looking pretty good for the dove this year.
Yeah.
They're flying everywhere.
Yeah,
A lot
Carter
of
was
white wing.
down there last week.
Yeah,
You can
last
forget
week.
about the white wings.
Yeah,
This storm,
yeah, wipe them out.
they're gonna be headed for the border.
Yeah, no. So, but I'm really excited for this hunt. So I'm getting kind of the bow set up and ready to go. So I'm real excited. So it'll be fun to fill the freezer, So
Yeah. Do you do any hunting yourself?
a ton, as often as I can. Growing up in Arizona, I think I shot my first deer. I was 12 as a coos deer, and I think I've shot, 18 or so of them now over the years. And I shot
Nice.
my first mule deer last year in Arizona. It's the first time I've actually applied for mule deer instead of coos deer in a while.
Yeah. What's your favorite unit?
I hunt quite a bit in central Arizona, so I like the 23, 22, stuff like that for whitetail for coos deer.
Good units.
Yeah, there's not as dense a population as down south, but some big deer, and it's I just grew up hunting it, so it's kind of what I know a little better. But I've had some pretty fun times down south. I got a mountain lion 2-3 years ago.
Wow. What
36B.
What unit? What?
36B. There's a lot of lions south. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
You see them every now and then in a few other units, and it's always that I buy tag every year just in case, and you see them for maybe a split second and they're gone. And I think we saw 3 lions in a week down there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So luckily I had my tag and it
Where'd
worked out.
you get your mule deer?
Up in the White Mountains.
Nice.
Yeah, right close to where my place is up there. So
Yeah.
I was able to kind of stay at the house, which is a rare treat, and
Yeah.
hunt out of that, which is pretty cool.
Right.
So yeah, it was a really good time. My brother and I both drew together, and that's another thing. With family, you don't always get to to do that all the time. So him and I to
Sure.
be able to hunt on the same hunt and have a tag together is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's up not too far from his place up north near Hal Earnhardt's railroad
Mhm.
allotment up there.
Okay. Yeah.
We've done a lot of work on his place.
Okay.
Habitat improvement
Yeah, that's
and
good stuff.
pipelines. And,
Okay.
Yeah, those fires changed northern Arizona quite a bit.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
habitat's changed a lot.
Oh, yes,
Cycle
it has.
hunting and
Yeah.
It's a lot more visible than it used to be, and then now that some of that fire's grown back, some of those areas, the oaks have really taken over. So it actually has become harder to glass it, I feel like, than it used to be when it was.
Is
fine
that
in some
right?
spots.
Yeah, 6B's been pretty much devastated. It had a pretty good ponderosa for us, but that Raphael fire, when it started, they had the air assets to put it out when it started, in a day or so, and they fiddled around and started backfires and let it burn clear down to damn near Cottonwood.
Yeah.
Just devastated that unit on the Sycamore Canyon thing, which is pathetic, and shame on them. So.
Yeah, any of us that lived in Arizona for a long time or grew up here, and that it's kind of sad to see some of those changes, but it sometimes that stuff's needed too because the forest needed it.
Yeah.
There's certain spots I see that are so overgrown or so.
Yeah,
you just-
well,
you can see it
that's
coming.
under their watch,
Yeah.
So that's a soapbox I don't want to get on today. I'll say that for next week. I'll get them. All right, so what's your next big adventure?
Carter and I are going to. Well, I leave next week. I'm heading to Florida on a Templar trip. But then Carter, when I get back, he'll be going hunting. But we're going hunting together in Kansas in November, whitetail.
Boy, you did a
That'd be
good
fun.
job picking your parents.
Buddy,
I'm
that's
telling
why I
you,
stick
dude.
around.
Yeah, so that'll be
No,
fun.
That'll be a good time.
I enjoy going watching him.
Always love hunting with my dad. We've done a lot of antelope hunts together, and it's just, I don't know, you can't beat that bonding experience.
No,
And
you can't.
It's just, there's always something real funny that happens, or just meeting good people together and being in an open country, and I don't know. It's a good reset from all the busyness, that goes on in life, and I'm excited to get my girls into it here when they get a little older, and maybe they can hunt with Papa.
Yeah.
So
That one little girl of yours, God love her, she's so cute, but that girl's such a little terrorist every time she sees
buddy.
She doesn't, Sal, she doesn't even wind up. She just goes, wah! Yeah, the same with his damn dog. He's got one of those Malinois, whatever you call
Oh,
them.
and she loves Don too. That Malinois boy, when he
Oh,
comes
yeah.
around, the hair on the back of
Yeah.
her neck stands up.
I said, you have that dog bite trained? She goes, no, she doesn't like you.
Well, we can hear his Dodge pull up in front of our offices, and I bring her to the office sometimes.
That's
And
wrong.
her hair stands straight up on her back
Yeah.
as soon as she hears your Dodge. She's
Yeah,
got a thing for Don McDowell.
You keep it up, you're going to have a handicap sign right in your parking place Monday morning. I'm going to do that.
Oh gosh.
That is just insane. Well, we're pretty blessed here doing what we're doing, and I can't say enough about the good that's going to come out of Bender's Pond for the folks there at Gila Bend. And, the last, and we're kind of concerned, I talked to Patricia as well as you did, and Tyson, one of the things that happened last time, they had kind of I'm not going to call it a world-class rodeo grounds, but it was way up there. I mean, it's gone. And they haven't built it back, so I'm just kind of concerned.
Same way with their football fields or
Something
their
like
that.
baseball fields or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. But one thing I want to say about the Bender Pond is we have a October 28th is going to be the barbecue that the town is putting on at Bender's Pond, and we're inviting all the sponsors, the Moon Valley Nursery, Western Clay, Redmond,
And Riley,
a lot of
the surveyor that did such a great
yeah,
job down
he
there.
did an awesome job. But anybody and everybody, plus the town's residents, we're going to try to get all of them to come out for this barbecue. So bring their families. So that's from noon to 3, I believe, on Saturday, October 28th.
Yeah, the group breakdown there, about 65% is Hispanic, 23% Caucasian, and then something that surprised me, about 7% American Indian.
Oh, well, there's the Tohoto O'odham
Oh, yeah.
What they call the San Lucie district right there.
Yeah.
It goes right at borders, right by the high school.
I don't think I'm going to get their vote for mayor.
You might.
Curly hair and
Play
blue
your
eyes.
cards right. You
Blonde hair and blue eyes. No. I remember the little bighorn. Nope, that was just wrong. So, all right, we got to flip into a break before I get in a lot of trouble. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910.
This is the
Yeah, that Tohoto O'odham reservation is right up
there.
next to
Oh,
town.
I know.
It's that San Lucie. I think it's called the San Lucie district or something like
How
that.
about that? We did some shutters
I
for
don't know.
them years
Yeah, we
back.
did some work for them.
Second time Doug and I went down, we had to get better with the CBP locally here in Arizona and Washington D.C. to do media work down there. So we did, and we got a camera crew, and we have an assigned agent, and we started getting air traffic. Omaha 10's going, hey, we got 8 bodies crossing, whatever the waypoints were. And I went, cool, are we going to roll on this? He goes, nope, can't. It's okay. So I didn't say anything. And I said, how come, about an hour later, you're hearing more chatter from Omaha 10, the aircraft. I said, why can't we roll on that? He goes, you have